Appeal Court set aside tribunal judgment affirms Abdullahi Sule as Nasarawa governor. Police NSCDC operatives stop NNPP supporters from special prayer protest in Kano. Oil price drops further after OPEC delays meeting. Away from Nigeria, push to rescue 41 Indian workers trapped in tunnel enters final stage. These are the headlines on Trust TV News Update at this hour. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for joining. The Court of Appeal in Abuja has reversed the judgment of Nasarawa State Governorship Election Tribunal, which sacked the incumbent governor Abdullahi Sule of the APC and declared David Ombogadu authentic winner of the March 18 poll. Trust TV's political editor Shafiu Suleiman reports.
The appellate court in its judgment on Thursday set aside the lower court ruling, stressing that the appellant was denied fair hearing. In a unanimous judgment, the three-member panel led by Justice Uchechukwu Onyemenam reversed the nullification of the election of Governor Sule of the APC. The appellate court's decision is on the grounds that the tribunal wrongly relied on the evidence of 8 of the witnesses that were produced by the PDP candidate, whose statements and oath were not front-loaded alongside the petition. It also held that Section 205, subsection 5 of the 1999 Constitution as amended, Section 132, subsection 7 of the Electoral Act 2022, and paragraphs 4, subsection 5 and 6, and 14, subsection 2 of the first schedule to the Electoral Act posits that every written statement on oath must be filed alongside the petition within the statutorily allocated time. The panel of justices held that the evidence of 12 remaining witnesses that testified for the PDP candidate were not sufficient to sustain the judgment of the tribunal after it struck out all the evidence and exhibits that were tendered before the tribunal by the 8 witnesses. The appellate court in another breath held that the tribunal acted in error when it deducted a total of 1,868 votes that were credited to Governor Sule on the premise that overvoting occurred in 4 polling units, even when the petitioners failed to provide necessary documents needed to prove overvoting. Dismissing the split judgment of the tribunal delivered on October 2nd, the court also vacated the order of the tribunal directing the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) to withdraw the certificate of return issued to Governor Sule, as it affirmed him as the winner of the governorship contest. In March 2023, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) declared Abdullahi Sule winner of the Nasarawa State Governorship election with 347,209 votes against David Ombogadu of the PDP, who scored 283,016 votes.
Thank God for the judgments just delivered. They were well considered. Out of all the judgments that were delivered, I think today we say it was 4-0.
It was rather a very strange misconception of the case. And happily, this is not the final court in this matter. We already have instructions to test the decisions that have been rendered this afternoon, and we have already swung into action.
We've gone into a game, and in a game, there'll be a winner and there'll be a loser. And of course, you don't expect the losers to celebrate. And they understand the way they feel, and the most understand, or most also have a state before we can have a government.
It was carnival-like here outside the Court of Appeal premises, with supporters across party lines cheering their candidates to victory. This is a suit that has generated a lot of interest on the side of supporters of both parties. That is the supporters of the incumbent governor Abdullahi Sule of the APC and that of David Ombogadu of the People's Democratic Party. From the Court of Appeal premises here in Abuja, Shafiu Suleiman, Trust TV News.
Meanwhile, reactions have continued to trail Thursday's appeal court judgment that reaffirmed Governor Abdullahi Sule's victory in the 2023 Nasarawa State governorship election. Trust TV had on October 2 reported the annulment of Governor Sule's victory and subsequent declaration of his opponent, the People's Democratic Party candidate David Umbogadu, as winner. Abubakar Abdullahi sent in the report as presented from our studio.
Since after the election of March 18, 2023, the fight to determine who actually won the governorship seat of Nasarawa State shifted to the courtroom, where the People's Democratic Party's candidate David Umbogadu, who lost the election, filed a petition at the Election Petition Tribunal in Lafia. After arguing for and against by councils representing Umbogadu PDP, Governor Sule APC, and the Independent National Electoral Commission, the tribunal, in a split judgment of 2-1, nullified the victory of Governor Sule and declared Umbogadu of PDP as the winner of the election. Dissatisfied with the judgment, Governor Sule filed an appeal challenging the tribunal majority ruling, and the appeal court, in its unanimous judgment, held that the tribunal was wrong to have recalculated the votes of the parties and determined that Umbogadu of the PDP won the Nasarawa State governorship election held on March 18, 2023, when the entire evidence of Umbogadu and the PDP were inadmissible and hearsays. Residents of the state have been reacting differently to the appeal court judgment, with some still claiming that the PDP candidate won the election.
We know from the beginning we won the election. We know at the tribunal we won the election. At the appeal court we won the election. And whichever court that Esule will choose to take us to, we will still win the election. Because if you check the IRF, the result is clear, and we have won, outrightly won. Nobody can tell us we didn't win.
And there is nothing will dictate us or we scared us to fear or to in any way to say we didn't win an election. Until tomorrow, next tomorrow, forever, I'm still saying that we won the election.
Other residents welcomed the judgment and expressed satisfaction with the court's decision.
Court, the ASLA has won the case, so we are very, very, very grateful. And we know everything is for God. Anything God has given somebody, nobody will say no. So we are very happy.
I want to call the attention of sons and daughters of Nasarawa State to come out and celebrate Engineer Abdullahi A.A. Sule, to come out and support Engineer Abdullahi A.A. Sule for the success of his administration.
After the judgment of the Abuja division of the Court of Appeal on Nasarawa State governorship election, Trust TV observed that security agencies have increased their presence in the state, as personnel and vehicles have been stationed at strategic locations, while patrols are taking place across the state.
In a similar vein, the Court of Appeal in Abuja has affirmed the judgment of Gombe State Governorship Election Tribunal, which dismissed the petition filed by the People's Democratic Party challenging the re-election of Governor Inuwa Yahaya of the All Progressives Congress. Delivering judgment on Thursday, the court agreed with the tribunal that the PDP's case lacked merit. The Independent National Electoral Commission had on March 18 announced Governor Yahaya of the APC winner of the governorship election with 342,821 votes. Muhammad Jibrin Barde of the People's Democratic Party was said to have scored 233,131. Barde had approached the tribunal insisting that the election of the governor did not comply with the provisions of the Electoral Act. His lawyers maintain that the PDP candidate scored the majority of the lawful votes cast during the poll, alleging that the multiple thumb printing and ballot box stuffing took place in 9 local government areas of the state in favor of Governor Inuwa Yahaya. However, the 3-man panel of the tribunal dismissed the PDP's application for lacking in merit.
What the judgment has just affirmed is to give approval to the decision of the people of Gombe as expressed with their votes on the 18th of March.
Yes, we have just received the judgment. We listened to same here. We will consider the judgment when we get the copy, certified true copy of the judgment, seek advice our client on the next step in respect of the matter. The conclusion part of it is that the court dismissed our appeal, but we still have right to appeal, further appeal to the appellate court.
Very happy and elated. It's a confirmation of what the people of Gombe State did. the elections in Gombe, as testified to by INEC and the observers, was very peaceful. It was free, it was fair, it was devoid of any kind of rancor or anything. The people of Gombe State came out and voted en masse for the people's governor, Alhaji Muhammadu Inu Yahaya. And what the court has just did today is to affirm what the people of Gombe State did.
Now, as the controversy continues to trail, the certified true copy of the judgment of the Court of Appeal, which sacked Governor Abba Yusuf of the Kano State, stakeholders from the APC in the state have raised alarm over a planned violent protest by members of the New Nigeria People's Party in the state. Addressing a news conference at the headquarters of the party in Abuja, the Director General, Gawuna Garu Campaign Organization, Rabiu Suleiman Bichi, alleged that the NNPP members are planning to attack key APC members on Saturday, November 25, during a mass protest. The party called on the Kano State Police Command and other security agencies to be alive to their responsibilities of protecting lives and properties. Suleiman Bichi, who noted that members of the APC are law-abiding citizens and as such will not do anything to disturb peace, however, said that they will not hesitate to protect their lives and belongings in the event of an attack. In the meantime, operatives of the police and Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) on Thursday prevented the New Nigeria People's Party supporters in the state from observing a special prayer session at Filin Mahaha. Trust TV reports that there was an outrage that led to a clash between supporters and the police shortly after they observed a similar activity on Wednesday evening. The supporters had taken to the streets in a solidarity march demanding justice in the certified true copy of the appeal court judgment in the Kano governorship election tussle. But on Thursday, when the supporters were out again to gain access to the Filin Mahaha, they were greeted by teams of armed police and NSCDC operatives who denied them access. The Labour Party governorship candidate in Imo State, Ethan Achonu, on Thursday led his supporters to protest the outcome of the November 11 poll at the national headquarters of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Abuja. 2 weeks ago, the electoral body declared Governor Hope Uzodinma of the All Progressives Congress winner of the election. The results have since been rejected by the LP and the People's Democratic Party, who alleged that the exercise was marred by irregularities. According to INEC, Uzodinma polled 540,308 votes to beat Samuel Anyao of the People's Democratic Party, who scored 71,503 votes, while Achonu could only secure 64,084 votes. But leading his supporters to the INEC headquarters, the protesters demanded the certified true copies of the election results it conducted in Imo State. The LP supporters alleged that the results announced by the commission are different from what INEC has on its server. Still on election matters, the suspended Adamawa State Resident Electoral Commissioner of the Independent National Electoral Commission, Hudu Yunusa Ari, has evaded arraignment for the second time. The investigating police officer, CSP Moses Jolugbo, disclosed this to the Adamawa State High Court of Justice on Wednesday. The trial judge, Justice Benjamin Manji, had tasked the Nigerian police to produce the suspended rec on or before the adjournment date of November 23rd. When the matter came up, counsel to INEC, Rotimi Jacobs, prayed the court to issue a warrant of arrest against the fleeing suspended rec. Before Justice Benjamin could respond to the request by counsel to INEC, Rotimi Jacobs, a lawyer, Usman Suleiman, announced his appearance for Yunusa Ari. According to him, he is doing so under the instructions of his son. He further announced that his client, Hudu Yunusa Ari, is not in the country, but in Niger Republic. Following this development, Justice Benjamin Manji then tasked the council to produce Yunusa Ari within 2 weeks and accordingly adjourned the case. Vice President Kashim Shettima Thursday presided over the National Economic Council meeting at the council chamber of the presidential villa in Abuja. The council, which comprises the governors of the 36 states of the federation, also has ministers in charge of the Federal Capital Territory and finance, as well as the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Group Chief Executive Officer of the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, and some others as members. Present at this month's sitting, which is likely to be the last for 2023, were all governors except those of Akwa Ibom, Kano, Lagos, Enugu, Osun, Borno, Adamawa, and Adamawa states, who were represented by their deputies. Now, the council has the mandate to advise the president concerning the economic affairs of the federation, and in particular on measures necessary for the coordination of the economic planning efforts or economic programs of the various governments of the federation. Top on the agenda was the issue of ecological and security challenges in the country, as well as economic matters. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Coming up shortly, Delta residents decry growing moral decadence. Details and more after the break.
We started manufacturing leather since 1958. But the most important thing is that if the system is checked correctly, we won't have where we are now.
If somebody has depression, they may just be very irritable and unproductive in the office. So you find on average already about 1 in 4, 1 in 5 Nigerians already have a mental illness, a mental health condition that needs some form of attention.
No matter how good an economy is, if the federal government goes bust, believe me, everything in the economy is just a matter of time it will go bust. So first of all, about maybe slightly above, below 70% is in federal government securities.
If government has banned importation of fertilizer and states are doing it at the level of governance, but I believe that production and distribution of fertilizer should be left to the private sector.
This is the general multi-purpose card and it has a chip here. So this chip is about 80 kilobytes. The one that you get from the bank for ATM is just 4 kilobytes. So this is like 20 times.
Welcome back. You're watching the news update on Trust TV. Here's a reminder of our top stories. Appeal court set aside tribunal judgment affirms Abdullahi Sule as Nasarawa governor. Plus, police NSCDC operatives stop NNPP supporters from special prayer protest in Kano. In other news now, Borno State Governor Babagana Zulum says his government will enhance agricultural activities and create avenues for trans-border trade between the state and Chad. The governor, who ferried over the Baga side of the Lake Chad basin, noted that communities that have returned after insurgency will be given livelihood support and humanitarian aid, as well as encourage them to venture into large-scale farming. The governor also approved the construction of a new mega-size higher Islamic college in Baga town. He said that the 2,000-student capacity school will combine traditional Islamic education with literacy, numeracy, digital and vocational education.
So in order to provide means of livelihood, we are exploiting the potentials of the Lake Chad. So that is why we went to the water side. You have seen We have traveled up to about 20 kilometers inside the waters. So our first ambition is to see how we shall support the Nigerian Army, the amphibious command, how we shall support the naval base Baga here to clear the waterways, water heights and other grasses that are in the lake, so that movement from boats from Nigeria to the Republic of Chad shall commence without any hindrances.
Nigeria is struggling with a growing moral decadence as social-cultural value systems face persistent erosion due to international influence. The cultural mode of dressing has been largely diminished as residents in Delta State call for a turnaround with a view to addressing the indecency among young Nigerians. From Asaba, Jonathan Awanyai completes the story.
Nigeria has become a melting pot of global ideas and values that often comes with negative consequences. The growing influence of media and how it shapes the lives of people have been largely responsible for decadence in Nigeria's society today. While social shifts happen from generation to generation, the pervasive nature of dressing among youth have given residents cause to worry.
Indecent dressing that has ravaged our youth today is westernization. Let me put it that way. These people are people here, Nigerians. You know, we are good in copying bad things.
It has gone a long way. This is decent dressing. It has gone a long way. Because if you watch most of our boys or the youth, let me say, out of watching films, if not, this sagging of trousers is supposed to be what they do in America in those days, prisoners. Because you know when they lose their bet, the trousers will sag. So that is just the major thing. That's why the prisoners, that's their dressing. But I wonder why are you now making use of those kind of dressing? I call a guy. Actually, it's not supposed to be African culture.
The declining moral standards in some Nigerian communities has impacted negatively on the productivity of youths, and some say parental and institutional guidance can mitigate the dangerous trend by gatekeeping immoral and indecent behavior.
Mothers should help their girl child to educate them to dress well and they look neat and look decent so that they will see good husband to marry. Because any person not well dressed will not see any good husband, they will marry their type. And marrying their type, what type of children will they give birth to? They will give birth to the same.
You wear to certain occasions, because, for instance, you can't be sagging or wearing ripped jeans and be going to church. It's not right, it's not proper, it's not allowed. Or you can't be wearing mini skirts and go for all these occasions like marriages or conventions. And it's not right, and it's really not something that you'd have to give yourself a name for something like that. Like they said, dress the way you want to be addressed.
It's good. You don't need to be expensively dressed to be decently dressed. All you need to do is just to cover the vital parts of a woman's body. A woman needs respect, dignity. The way you carry yourself determines the way you are dressed.
The way you dress is the way you'll be addressed. Therefore, children should learn to dress moderately, and parents should encourage their children to dress properly and not indecently, because it will give the family a very bad name. In the school, it is very, very common to find school children cut their own dress that have been sewn according to the school style.
While many youths consider their mode of dressing a fashion trend, the phenomenon, if left unchecked, could undermine the integrity of Nigeria's social fabric. Jonathan Awaye, Trust TV News, Asaba.
And in business news, oil prices sank further on Thursday after the shock decision by OPEC Plus to delay a key policy meeting, suggesting fresh discord in the bloc. Stock markets, meanwhile, traded mixed after two U.S. reports dented A recent euphoria over the future of interest rates. Now, both main crude contracts slid on news that the much-anticipated gathering of OPEC Plus, an alliance of major producers led by Saudi Arabia and Russia, would be put back by 4 days to November 30. Prices declined by another 1% on Thursday, having dived by almost 5% at one point on Wednesday following the news. Reports said that the decision was made after Angola and Nigeria pushed back against lower targets that were urged by others, with Saudi Arabia said to have been preparing to extend a 1 million barrel a day output cut into the new year. Riyadh and Moscow unveiled massive cuts earlier this year in a bid to boost prices, which have come under pressure owing to stuttering economies in the United States and Europe, and particularly China. Now, away from Nigeria, ambulances were on standby Thursday as Indian rescuers dug through the final meters of debris separating them from 41 workers trapped in a collapsed road tunnel for nearly 2 weeks. Rescue teams have specially fitted stretchers with wheels ready to pull the exhausted men out through 57 meters of steel pipe once it is driven through the final section of the tons of earth, concrete and rubble blocking their escape. Emergency vehicles and a fouled hospital stood ready, preparing to receive the men who have been trapped since a portion of the under-construction tunnel in the Himalayan state of Uttarakhand caved in 12 days ago. But rescue efforts have been hit with repeated delays, including more debris falling, fears of further cavings and drilling machine breakdowns as progress on Thursday was slowed by further mechanical problems. And that's a wrap on the news update. You can watch more via all our social media platforms and also on our YouTube live stream. I am Ayuba Ila. Thanks for watching.